Yo, 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 what's up, guys? Welcome to Market Monday, episode 3.
Market Monday.
It's your boy Colio, and
What's up? This is JP.
all right, what's up, guys? Bringing you a fresh new week of analysis ever since last week. A lot to talk about, a lot to cover on the technical and the fundamental aspect as well. So let's hop on these charts. We're fired up. GBP JPY is our first target, right? We saw really big swings last week. Popping all the way from the 150 all the way down to the 147.75, you guys, as a low point, and then from there rebounding this past Sunday into Monday, so the past 24 hours, all the way back up to 150, up in, what did it set the high at? Wow, okay, so 150.42. Which is absolutely insane. So what are our analysis, you guys? I'm going to give you the technical breakdown, then I'm going to throw it over to JP, and he's going to give you the fundamental breakdown. But from a technical standpoint, okay, this has been a tricky pair to analyze. My biggest recommendation is be very cautious with trading it, and if you're going to take a trade on it, wait for confirmation first. However, our bias, even though there is a lot of bullish momentum, our bias is to the downside. And there's a few reasons for that, you guys. First off, it's at the 150 point, you guys. That's a very strong key level. It hit almost 150.50, right, which is big. And right here, you're seeing this thing wick up to the EMA, almost as if it's going to grab it and then fall back down. A few different leading indicators are also showing momentum decreasing while the price is still rising, so we know what happens at that point, right? Everything kind of diverges, and we're expecting the price to fall. Now, the daily chart and the 4-hour chart is really where I'm expecting to see those first signs, right? Now, on those first signs of bearish momentum, we can potentially see this fall from the 150 area down into the 149 area, and potentially make lower moves to the downside in the next several days. So that's GJ. That's the overall expectation. Alternatively, if this thing decides to continue up, we're looking at a continuation up to about the 151 with a possible slip to 151.50 all the way up here. So this is kind of the range, and we're seeing this thing make a touch point here, and from there we could see it then slip. However, it's more likely from our perspective, from a technical analysis perspective, that if this thing is going to fall, it's going to do it from here and not a higher point upwards. Now with that, let's hop onto Euro USD and see kind of what's going on with EU. So as we talked about last week, we saw the stop hunt down into this area. It popped up from here, G20, a whole bunch of fundamental stuff, a whole bunch of technical stuff, ranged, consolidated, and we saw this thing absolutely break. And in the last 24 hours, it has shot up like a freaking rocket. Incredibly bullish day for EU, and our expectancy for EU is we have a long bias on it with roughly a 126 target, about the 125.80. A few different reasons for that, you guys. But overall, we are expecting bullish moves. Now, that is in the scenario that this thing has to create. It has to break this high, okay? If this high is not broken, it might just wear off. It might consolidate, and we might see it do nothing over the next couple days. However, we are expecting this high to break, and under the scenario that it breaks, we're looking for that 126 to be the longer-term hit on a weekly, daily, and a 4-hour time frame. And as you can see, the daily chart, pretty large bullish momentum overall. And then the last pair that will hit is going to be, we're going to touch on, where is it? Gold. Okay, so gold. Same thing with gold. We're expecting a break higher. Okay, we're expecting the break higher, and the long-term profit target up here at 1400, you guys, is really the expected move. However, first we can see a rejection. All right, we can see a rejection down into, let me grab the brush here, down into these levels, all right, back into the 1340s potentially, prior to making another swing up. Now, this is really going to be verified tomorrow, right? Because in the next 24 hours, if this does not break out and instead it rejects, then we are going to see this thing continue to fall, probably until Wednesday into that Thursday area. So gold is going to be one to keep an eye on with a longer-term profit target at 1,400. But with that, those are the three main pairs that we're kind of focusing on this week, you guys: gold, GJ, and EU. And now let's kind of touch on the fundamental aspects of what in the world is going on.
Yes, guys. Okay, so let's start with safe haven assets. Okay, what safe haven assets are basically like the name says, like the word says, safe, right? It's the safe place to put your assets. So what happened from last week, Friday? We saw the yen gain strength, right, causing GJ to fall. GBP, JPY as a pair. Can you put the pair on there, Koza, for me?
Yes. Let's pull this
GJ.
up.
Yes. So on Friday we saw it fall. Okay. So what basically happened over the weekend? We saw a small gap on the 140.48 technical area. A small gap to the downside. Yes, right there. What basically happened over the weekend was there was an easing in. So wait, let's come back. I'm going too fast. So why did the yen activate as a safe haven asset? I would probably you guys would probably have known or heard about the trade wars, right? The U.S. versus China, and Trump says that the U.S. has been getting doggy style from China a long time already. And so what has to happen right now, they have to better the deals, right? So they have to make better deals for the U.S. to not be China's little dog. So trade war, right? Trade is basically export and import. What happened was then that tensions rose between the U.S. and China, which are the two biggest economies in the world, which caused fears. Okay, fears in the market is not good for investors because they then fear that their money is not safe. So they move their money from unsafe havens to safe havens, and the yen is one of the most popular ones, which caused basically the GJ drop last week, the end of last week, and in the weekend these negotiations. So China made some comments, right? China made some comments, and they said that most probably the U.S. and China can do something to make everything work. So which caused fears to calm down, right? So people calm down, and right now caused this to happen from Monday towards this particular moment right now. Okay, so a weaker yen caused GJ to rise, right? There was no literal, so there no actual pound news which caused this to rise as it did. Although the pound is looking good as a whole, so we can expect that small little upwards movement towards 151 area before doing possibly a big retracement or breaking down on the lower trend line on the week. So that's GJ as a pair. Lots of fundamental stuff happening. It's just the basic stuff I'm gonna cover today. Next pair would be EU, right? Euro US dollar.
Yep.
Or was it gold? Yes, Euro US dollar. Okay, so what happened? The euro, right? Why is the euro climbing? So a positive euro, and why a positive euro? What basically happened? Let's start Monday. Let's start from Monday. Okay. Monday, we got one of the governors of Europe, so the European Central Bank, saying that it's most likely that they're going to increase rates this coming year, which made the euro sound like more positive towards traders. Okay, so another rate hike this year would mean that interest rates going to go up. Higher interest rates, they attract investors, right? And if investors think that the euro is at a low point today or at a good low point today, for it to go further up, and like we're talking big amounts, then they're going to invest, right? Because they think their money's going to grow, and that's the whole goal behind investing. So the euro doing good. Let me read this real quick that I don't miss anything. So subtle hits from Jens Weidmann, which is a ECB governing council member, says he didn't say that we're probably gonna hike rates or increase rates this year, but what he said was not completely unrealistic. So sneaky way to say that probably they're gonna increase the rates. So what they said, not completely unrealistic. That's what they said. Okay. Second thing is, so just here, I don't want to miss anything for you guys, so I want to give you guys all the stuff that I can find for now. They are on track as to for their economic projections. As long as they are on track, they do not see the euro not being a positive pair for the coming months. Okay, so euro, big rise up, possible big rise up. Of course, so GJ supporting the technicals right now, fundamentals, and the euro as well. Right, these things can change any minute though. So you have to be you have to know what you're doing. That's one, right? If you want to know what you're doing, if you don't know what you're doing yet, contact us and we'll gladly inform you how to do it. So for euro, good pair to trade as towards the bullish side, a bullish trend expected from now. So the gross domestic GDP, the national GDP for Europe, which is basically the gross domestic product, right? Product being created in Europe. They are expecting an increase of 0.6%, which is also pointing towards the bullish side for the euro, right? So a few good events happening for the euro right now. Good comments, positive sentiment, and of course, backing up the technicals, right? If we now look into gold, possible, or was it rise?
Yeah.
Possible break to the upside. Yes. We're looking at gold as so at the beginning of this year, right? So the end of last year, December, the beginning of this year, we saw a huge rise in gold because of it being a safe haven for cryptocurrency investors, right? It was around the time that Bitcoin started to fall from 19,000, 20,000, that we saw gold rise about 1,000 something pips, maybe 2,000 pips, as it did. So from that time, we were predicting the 1,400 levels for gold, and as cryptocurrencies right now become better, so the news around cryptocurrencies are settling down, right? Regulation is, kind of not going to be there anymore. Although Coinbase, did you hear about that? Coinbase is actually charging their members 20% taxes on every 20% taxes on every transaction.
That's brutal. They're gonna lose a lot of members, but they're gonna get a lot of money in the process.
Yes. So maybe something happened there, right? We don't know yet. But if uncertainty in the crypto market causes gold to rise as it did in December, uncertainty in the crypto market can cause it to rise again. Otherwise, it will be a negative dollar. A negative dollar would cause gold to rise, right? If we're expecting a negative dollar, we can't predict the future, right? Because like events as 9/11 happened magically because of head and shoulders pattern back in 2001. Before it happened, giving signs of a bearish turn on the markets. Something is going to happen for gold. And at the moment, the U.S. economy is doing good, but analysts are saying that they are not seeing the goodness of the U.S. dollar in the markets, right? So they're not seeing this bullish reaction because of a good U.S. economy. So it can be a late reaction for the U.S. dollar, right? It can have a late reaction, or something else is going to happen. What we do know is that the U.S. are focusing a lot on inflation, so they want to see inflation at that higher percentage. I think it was 2% target. Okay, so inflation, which is CPI data, check your forex calendars when that comes out. A huge impact on that. Also, when any central bank governor has any speech about the situation of the U.S. economy, you'd want to tune in to see what he's going to say, because anything he says about inflation can affect the markets. So yeah, man, that's it for fundamentals: U.S. dollar, euro, pound, and the yen, and gold. Also, you got a bit of insight into gold. So yes.
Awesome. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the bell button every Monday, every Thursday. Market Mondays, technical throwbacks, be on, and analyze the market with us, you guys. Let's absolutely have a phenomenal week. Risk manage, trade safe, and get those pips. See you guys later.
Yes.